Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We are back today with another shoe review, and we're reviewing a new lightweight neutral training shoe from New Balance, the FuelCell 890v8. We've got to get 50 miles into these beauties first, so let's get on the road and let's get running. Well, we soon got them 50 miles in the shoe, and there is some really interesting features, that's for sure. One of them being this oddly shaped midsole, but let's get back to the studio and let's get stuck into this review. Yep, we are back with a review for the first time with a shoe from New Balance. It's been several years since I ran in a shoe from New Balance, so pretty excited about this one, and I really don't know what to expect. What I will say about New Balance, I think they fell asleep for a few years when it came to their running shoes, but they are back with a vengeance and making lots of exciting new innovations when it comes to the technology in their shoes. One of them being the FuelCell midsole, which this shoe carries. So let's give you a few facts and figures on this new shoe from New Balance, the FuelCell 890v8. The shoe retails in the UK at £110. Weight-wise, this is a men's UK 9 and it weighs in at 247 grams. The women's shoe is 209 grams. Heel offset is 6mm. We've tried to find out the stack height. There's not a great deal of information on this shoe online. Even on the New Balance website, the description doesn't really give you any information at all, which I find rather bizarre. But we've measured the heel, it comes in at 26mm and the forefoot is 20mm. Colorways, the shoe comes in 3 colorways in men's and 3 colorways in women's. When it comes to the fit of the shoe, I'm a UK 9.5, this shoe is a UK 9.5. What I did find is on some of my longer runs when my feet had expanded a little bit, I could just feel my toe catching the end of the shoe. So I would say the shoe size is up a little bit small, and I'd recommend going up half a size. So that's a few figures on the new running shoe from New Balance, but let's give you a few more details on the construction of the new FuelCell 890v8. Let's talk about the construction of the upper first. So the shoe comes with a very, very light engineered mesh upper, like a twin skin of engineered mesh. Very light, very breathable, very soft, very flexible in that upper construction. We've got a bit of reinforcement on the toe box to give you a bit of protection and a bit of durability. We've got a gusseted tongue in the shoe, so to give you that nice secure midfoot hold. And the tongue has quite a unique design, slightly tapered off, so that tongue really wraps around the top of the shoe, giving you a really nice sort of secure fit. As far as cushioning in the upper, you've got a nice level of cushioning in the tongue, not too thick, not too light, and a really nice level of padding around the heel collar. When it comes to the midsole of the FuelCell 890v8, the shoe carries New Balance's FuelCell compound. That compound is designed to be super lightweight but really responsive, and throughout the New Balance range, it's their compound that gives the highest levels of energy return. The outsole of the shoe is coated in New Balance's Revlite rubber, which is designed to give you a high level of durability on the road surface, but also to give you a snappy feel when you're up in the pace. So that's a bit of information about this new lightweight training shoe from New Balance, but let's go through the things we've liked about the shoe and maybe the things we haven't liked about the 890v8. The first thing we really enjoyed about this new shoe from New Balance was that initial feel and fit out of the box. It's always important to me how that shoe feels straight out of the box, and this shoe didn't disappoint. Put my foot in it, it fitted like a glove straight away, and I just wanted to go for a run in it, to be honest. The construction of this upper is very, very light and very breathable. There's no real overlays or stitching or anything to get in the way, so I really felt like I didn't have a shoe on my foot, which I always like to feel in a running shoe. The construction, like I said, being very breathable and very soft. Level of padding and cushioning in the shoe is spot on, I feel. There's a good level of cushion in that tongue and a good level of padding around that heel collar, but it's not bulky, it's not too much. Another feature that I really enjoyed in the New Balance shoe was this quite unique tongue. It's quite a unique shape for a tongue in a shoe, and I haven't come across it before in a lot of running shoes. Slightly tapered away, so that tongue really fits around the top of the midfoot well. And I think a lot of that comes to giving you that nice snug midfoot hold. Obviously the tongue's gusseted, which I love in a running shoe. You know, I think all shoes should have that gusseted tongue to give you that very precise feel. So upper feel, amazing out of the box, super comfy, super breathable, and I can't really fault that upper. Another thing I really enjoyed in the shoe, which I do struggle with from time to time, is the laces and how the shoe laces up. A lot of the time with shoes, I'll start my run off and I'll tighten my laces down, and then I'll stop and have to loosen them off or make them tighter, or they go loose over time, I'll have to stop and tighten them up. Didn't happen in this shoe. All I did was put my foot in it, and this has been the same on every run. I've just put my foot in, laced it up, and I haven't given the laces a second thought. It just holds the foot well, the laces haven't got loose over time, and I've had to tighten them again. So the lacing system and the actual laces in the shoe work really well. The next thing we have to talk about when it comes to likes of this shoe is this midsole compound, FuelCell. I'd heard a lot of great things about this compound from viewers and from friends that run in this shoe, so I was really excited to get some miles in this shoe and to see how it feels. And it really didn't disappoint. This FuelCell compound is pretty impressive. What I must say is the first time I took it out of the box and pushed into it, it felt quite firm and quite dense, and I wasn't convinced. The first time I put the shoe on, again, you know, it felt firm and it felt quite dense, and I wasn't sure how comfortable it would be. But then when you get out running in it, it comes to life. It's very light, but very comfortable over your longer distance runs as well. But then when you up the pace on your tempo and your speed work, this midsole compound is super snappy and really responsive. The closest thing I could come to it is probably the React compound from Nike. They feel very similar when you push into them, and then again they both spring to life when you get running in them. So I really have to agree with everybody who was praising the shoe and telling me to try a pair and run in a pair. This FuelCell midsole compound is really impressive. Next on the long list of likes when it comes to the FuelCell 890v8 is the heel offset. This shoe carries a 6mm offset, which I'm a massive fan on when it comes to offset height. I think it's a great offset to carry across all aspects of your running. I think it's a great offset for a lot of different runners. So not too high to get in the way, not too high to make you heavy on your heel, but also not too minimal, not too low to put too much stress on the lower leg and on the Achilles. So 6mm, big fan of that. Also the weight of the shoe. This shoe coming in a UK 9 at 247 grams. Again, I think it's an ideal weight for a shoe that is designed to cross over all aspects of your running. So at 247 grams, the shoe can carry enough cushioning, enough padding, enough comfort for your longer training mileage. But then when you want to up the pace and race in it or do track work or speed work in it, again, at 247 grams, this is a super light and a really responsive shoe. Last but not least, when it comes to likes for the new shoe from New Balance is this outsole and the rubber used on the outsole. This Revlite rubber is super sticky and great level of traction on the road surface. It also feels really snappy and really fast on toe off. But that is the long list of things we've really enjoyed about this shoe. Let's go through a few of the little things that we haven't quite got on with when it comes to the FuelCell 890v8. So as far as things that we haven't really gotten on with, the list is very small compared to the list for the likes, and they're not really worth talking about, but I suppose we better mention them. First thing being is, as far as the compound on the outsole, I've done 50 miles in the shoe, all on the road, and we have got a fair bit of wear on that forefoot already from that Revlite compound. It feels super sticky because it's very soft, so not sure about the durability of that rubber, especially with that level of wear after 50 miles. The only other thing is the way the shoe looks. You know, I'm not a massive lover of this shoe. I think it looks a bit plain and it looks a bit cheap, to be honest. What I will say is I've loved the time in the shoe. It's felt really responsive, really comfortable. You want to run in it. It's a great shoe to run in. And I just think the shoe should look a bit more exciting because of that. A lot of the shoes in the FuelCell range are exactly that. They look cool, the colorways, the design, they look fast. This one has been a little bit left behind, I think, but they're the only dislikes we've got. So the shoe and the experience in the shoe have been super positive. But at Run4Adventure, we always like to score products, so let's get some scores on the FuelCell 890v8. So just before we get stuck into the scores, don't forget to follow us on our other social media platforms, whether it be Instagram, Facebook or Strava. The first thing to score always at Run4Adventure is price. So this shoe from New Balance comes in at £110 retail in the UK. I personally think £110 for this shoe is a pretty good price, When you think you could just get away with having one shoe, this shoe will cross over to all aspects of your road running. So for 110, I think that's pretty good value. So the shoe's going to score high, and it's going to come in with a really respectable 8 out of 10. Next to score is comfort and performance, and the first thing I've got to say is thanks to everybody who commented, and thanks to the friends that have recommended that I get a FuelCell shoe and I run it, because this has been a super pleasurable experience. I've loved every mile in the shoe. From the comfort, the lightness, the breathability, the fit, the tongue in the upper, all the way to that FuelCell midsole. Super responsive when you're up in the pace, running quicker. It feels really snappy, really quick. But then when you slow it down and you do your longer miles, your longer runs, it is one super comfortable shoe. It came very close to getting a 10 out of 10, but I think a shoe has to blow your mind to get a 10 out of 10. But the FuelCell 890v8 is still going to score high, and it's going to get a brilliant 9 out of 10. Number 3 on the list is durability, and we put 50 miles into the shoe from New Balance and it's holding up really well. The upper looks really fresh, there's no fatigue at the flex points, there's no real overlays or stitching to come undone, so the shoe seems to be holding up really well to mileage. As far as this outsole, we mentioned there is a bit of wear on that forefoot, on that Revlite compound, because it's very soft and very sticky. I think it's just initial wear. I don't think it's going to get massively worse over the mileage, but we'll soon find out when we put some more miles into the shoe. So for durability, it's still going to score a good score at Run4Adventure, and it's going to come in with a strong 8 out of 10. Last to score at Run4Adventure is always looks. We always get a lot of comments about this topic. It is super subjective. It's just my take on the way this shoe looks and the colorway of the shoe. And I think it's a bit disappointing, like I mentioned in the review earlier. This shoe feels great to run in. You just want to run in it, you want to run quick in it. So I think it should have looked a bit snappier, a bit faster in its colorways and in its design. I think it's been left behind, to be honest. It does come in other colorways. So for men's, you can get this really ugly red colorway, or you can get this slightly better yellow and white colorway, but not a massive improvement. Women's shoes, you can have this, or this, or this, which none are that impressive, to be fair. So I think on looks, it's gonna get marked down a bit, and it's gonna come in with a plain 7 out of 10. So rounding up all them points at Run4Adventure, the 890v8 comes in with a really pleasing and pretty surprising 32 out of 40. So bringing this review to a quick conclusion, I have loved my 50 miles in this shoe. It really has been a pleasurable experience, and I can see myself spending a lot more miles in this shoe and actually trying some of the other New Balance FuelCell shoes in their range for sure. The comfort, the feel, the fit, the performance of the upper, can't fault it. That midsole compound, super comfortable on long runs, really snappy, really fast on shorter stuff. The only thing I will say is if you're looking for a running shoe or a road shoe where you're going to cross it over to a bit of dry, untechnical trail, I wouldn't say this is the best shoe for it. I did a couple of runs where I had to spend a mile on, not technical trail, just dry, slightly rutted trail, and the shoe didn't feel that stable. I didn't have a lot of connection, so I wouldn't say it crosses over to that type of running particularly well. But if you're after a lightweight, neutral training shoe that feels very snappy and very racy, or if you're after a race shoe that's going to give you a bit more comfort and a bit more cushioning for longer races, then the FuelCell 890v8 is definitely worth checking out. So that is another review smashed at Run4Adventure. We really hope you enjoyed it, guys, and you found it useful. What I will say is if you can get the opportunity to get your feet in a pair of FuelCell shoes from New Balance, I would definitely get in them and check out this compound. It really has impressed me. We have left a link in the description if you want to find out any more information about this new shoe from New Balance or about any of their other shoes in their range. Please click that link and do so. Comments, guys. Are you running in a New Balance shoe? Have you run with that FuelCell midsole technology? How are you finding it? Did you find it super comfortable, really responsive like we did? Get in the comments down below. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. And subscribe. Come and join the Run4Adventure family. We'd love to have you along. Don't forget though, hit that bell icon because it really helps the channel and it helps you to be notified when we upload new content. We just want to do a big YouTube shout out before we go. I've got a very close friend of mine whose son is a very talented, very committed, very dedicated cyclist. He's been cycling for a few years now and he's already riding at a very, very high level. He's just started a YouTube channel. So the channel is called Harry Jukes. Go and show him some YouTube love. Go and check the channel out, give him a sub, say hello. I'm sure he'd really appreciate it. So go and check out Harry Jukes' YouTube channel. And as always, at these troubled, difficult times, stay at home, keep your distance, stay safe, but always keep on running.